May 2010, Select City Walk, Saket, New Delhi. Bollywood star Lara Dutta cuts the ribbon. India's first Zara store opens. Louis Vuitton hasn't arrived yet. Gucci hasn't arrived yet. H&M is still 5 years away. Zara got here first, and they have never looked back. 2,782 crore in revenue, 22 stores, zero advertising, profit up by 23% over last year. But here is the real story. Zara chose to stop expanding, and that decision is the smartest decision they ever did in India. I'm Elton Pereira, 25 years in retail. This is the retail guru, and this is how Zara conquered fast fashion in India. To understand why Zara's arrival mattered, you need to understand what India looked like in 2010. Luxury brands were still circling. Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Prada, they were present, but limited and deeply aspirational to a point of inaccessibility. At the bottom, domestic brands, local retailers, unorganized fast fashion, and in between, a growing, hungry, aspirational middle class, young professionals. India's economic boom was creating new wealth at an extraordinary pace. These consumers were traveling. They had seen Zara in London, Dubai, Singapore. They knew the brand and they wanted it. In 2010, India's GDP was growing at 8%. This was not a market to ignore. And Inditex understood exactly what was coming. They partnered with Tata Group, the most trusted name in Indian retail, to form Inditex Trent. Inditex 51%, Tata's Trent Limited 49%, smart entry, smart partner, perfect timing. And then they opened at Select City Walk, Delhi's most premium mall, and Bollywood came to the launch. The Bollywood Moment. This is a detail that gets overlooked, but it's commercially significant. When Zara opened in India in May 2010, Bollywood star Lara Dutta cut the ribbon. Now think about what that meant in India in 2010. Luxury international brands were not yet mainstream. The idea that a global fashion brand would launch with a Bollywood face, not a European model, not a Spanish celebrity, but an Indian film star, sent an immediate message. This is for you. This is Indian. This is aspirational but accessible. And then something organic happened that no marketing budget could have ever brought. Bollywood began wearing Zara on screen, off screen, at airports, at events. Actors and actresses who were the style references for millions of Indians were wearing Zara. And Zara spent zero on advertising. Their entire marketing strategy was build a beautiful store, stock it with great product, charge a price that makes people feel smart for buying it, and let the product do the talking. In India, where Bollywood is the ultimate style authority, this strategy was more than any other campaign. This? Now let's talk about the pricing strategy, because this is where Zara's India thinking was particularly sharp. When they entered in 2010, Inditex publicly stated that they would be approximately 10% higher than Europe. Now that is a significant insight. They did not try to compete with domestic brands on price. They did not try to be affordable fast fashion. They positioned themselves as aspirational but yet reachable. A Zara shirt in India may cost 2,500 to 4,000. A Zara dress from 4,000 to 8,000. It's not cheap, but it's not Gucci. Exactly where the Indian upper middle consumer wanted to be. The message was, you cannot afford Louis Vuitton, you do not want to wear an unbranded shirt, but you can definitely afford Zara. And when you wear it, you look like someone who has taste. This is the sweet spot Zara owned, and no one else was there in 2010. H&M entered in 2015, 5 years later. Mango was present but limited, and Zara had 5 years to own the mind of the Indian aspirational consumer. 5 years of first mover advantage in a market growing at 8% a year. This was an extraordinary commercial gift. Now, here is the business model that makes everything else possible. Zara's supply chain is unlike any other retailer in the fashion world. Most fashion brands design their collections 6 to 12 months in advance. They manufacture in bulk. They ship to stores. They sit on inventory. If a trend changes, they discount. Zara does something entirely different. Designed to shelf in 10 to 15 days, not months, days. Their design teams are constantly watching what is selling, what is trending, and what customers are asking for. They feed this information back to Spain. New designs are manufactured and shipped to stores globally. The result is that Zara stores get new products every week. Customers come back constantly, not because of advertising, because there's always something new to see. In India, this created an absolutely remarkable dynamic. Zara customers visited stores far more frequently than the typical fashion retail. The stores became a destination, and with no advertising spend, every rupee of margin went straight back into the business. This is why their India profit margin is exceptional, 299 crore profit on a turnover of 2782 crore, which equates to 11% net margin. For a fashion retailer, that's absolutely remarkable. And now we get to the most counterintuitive and brilliant part of the Zara story. Zara chose not to expand. H&M entered India in 2015. Within 4 years, they had 35 stores. Zara, after 14 years of being in India, had 22 stores across 13 cities. On the surface, it looked like Zara lost the expansion race. But here's what actually happened. While H&M was adding doors, Zara was extracting maximum value from every door that they had. Zara India's monthly average revenue is 8% higher than Zara's global average. Let me say that again. Their India stores outperform the global average because Zara did not dilute their store selection. Every Zara store in India is a premium location. Select City Walk, Palladium, Phoenix Market City, UB City Bangalore. Not just any mall, the best malls. And when you have only 22 stores in a country of 1.4 billion people, scarcity actually works for you. The Zara customer in tier 2 cities cannot access the brand easily. It remains aspirational. The store trip is actually an event. Zara made a deliberate choice. Turnover per store over store count. Compare this now to H&M, accessible everywhere, every mall, every city. Aspirational value completely diluted. And the financials finally proved that Zara was right. Now, let's look at the financials because this is where the Zara India story becomes absolutely extraordinary. This revenue growth is absolutely impressive from 1815 crore to 2782 crore in 3 years. But look what's happened to its profit. FY 2024 profit 244 crore, FY 2025 profit 299 crore, up 23% on flat revenue. This is absolutely exceptional business management. Revenue flat, profit up 23%. That is not stagnation, that is operational excellence. They're squeezing more profitability out of the same revenue base by improving efficiency, reducing costs, and managing inventory better. So, what is Zara's India playbook? What can other retailers learn from this? 5 things. First, timing. Enter the market before the competition. Own the mind before anyone else arrives. Zara had 5 years before H&M. That head start is still visible in their per store productivity today. Second, partner smart. Tata gave Zara institutional trust, real estate access, and regulatory expertise. Without Trent, the JV story would look very different. Third, price positioning. Not cheap, not luxury, aspirational but reachable. The sweet spot in the Indian upper middle class. That's what they've actually been waiting for. Fourth, zero advertising. Let the product and store do the work. In a country where word of mouth and Bollywood visibility are more powerful than any billboard, this was absolutely the right call. Fifth, and most importantly, choose store productivity over store count. In Indian retail, everyone races to open more doors, more cities, more malls. Zara said no, we will go deep, but we will not go wide. We will protect our positioning. And 14 years later, their India stores outperform their global average. This is the proof. Zara did not conquer Indian fast fashion by accident. They read the market correctly in 2010. They entered at the right moment. They partnered with the right company. They priced themselves perfectly. They used Bollywood without paying for it. And then they made a decision that most retailers would never make. They chose fewer, better stores over more weaker ones. The retail guru's verdict: Zara's India story is one of the best executed international retail entries this country has ever seen. If this breakdown was useful, share it with someone in retail or fashion who needs to understand how this market really works. Drop your verdict below. What did Zara get most right in India? Was it timing, pricing, or their store strategy? Subscribe for a new retail analysis every week. Until then, keep retailing smart.